Programming on 90.7 WKGC and the Commodore Sports Network is sponsored by SWEETBAY. SWEETBAY is a bayfront village in Panama City that features parks, walking trails to the water, a future town center, and more. A community connected at the water's edge, SWEETBAY. More information about SWEETBAY online at sweetbayfl.com or 844-35-SWEET.
This is Coach's Corner.
Welcome, Coach. I'm about to say welcome, Coach. Welcome, Commodore fans, to Coach's Corner, a production of Gulf Coast State College and the digital media program here. I want to thank the folks at SWEETBAY for sponsoring Coach's Corner. Today, Coach Scovel and I will talk about Lady Commodores and how they're doing. Panel conference play started, had some exciting games over the break, and so a lot of things going on. Lady Commodores 14-0 overall, ranked more importantly 1-0 in the panel conference.
Yes.
And ranked number 1 in state coaches poll and ranked number 1 in the NJCAA national poll. So, so a lot to talk about. If we go back, y'all made a road trip and played some really good teams. We played Shelton State on the 30th of December, won 66-60. A lot tighter game because at the end of the first quarter it was 18-18.
Yep.
It was tied at halftime. Lady Commodores outscored them in the third quarter, which is where the difference was, 18-12, and then in the fourth quarter each team scored 19 apiece.
Right.
So it was a battle against the 11th ranked team in the country.
Absolutely. Well, when you look at Shelton's, history, they're always at the national tournament. They beat us, for third place a couple years ago, and they always make their run. They've been to the Final Four. So Madonna Thompson, they just do a great job there. They coach. They're blue collar kids. They work hard. They play hard. They, as we call it, they dumb you down and they come at you. And they played a great game. And that was, but I was proud of us to get the win. We had a long layoff, 22-day break over the holidays, and to be able to come out there and play a very talented Shelton State team, we're very fortunate that we came away with a win.
And we see Shelton State at the national tournament almost every year. They're there
every year we
always.
go, yeah. They probably go more than us. But.
So they're there all the time, so they do that, and you're right, their players just play so hard.
Yeah, they play hard.
They play hard there. If we look at scoring, Jones led all Commodore scoring with 17 points.
Yeah, she's been kind of coming into her own. She had double doubles. She's averaging double doubles. The only player that we have doing that. So her rebounding ability and playing tough and aggressive. It's definitely helping us, and a good post presence, good defender. But probably her rebounding is her strength and what helps us win ball games.
And you're right. I overlooked that. She had 14 rebounds to go with those 17 points. And then Smith with 16 points. For most players, that'd be a good night, but she was down that night.
Well, for what she's averaging, it was down. But, and she's going to see a lot of double teams and triple teams, and she's going to, but, overall, she's still averaging 24 points a game, and that may even be up after the Northwest game a little bit. But Alana's Alana, and she's going to have a bad night, and you'll think, gosh, she didn't do much, and then she'll be double figures in scoring every time, and probably 5 or 6 steals, or in that game I think she had 6 or 7 steals against Shelton State. So that might have been more beneficial to us than scoring.
Yeah, she had 7 steals that night.
Yeah.
So that was big. And Greg, now getting to play, had 11 points for you. What's it like for her to be able to start playing?
Well, it gives us some size, it gives us some depth, when you sub in, and she started a couple games, but we're kind of going back to her coming off the bench, because anytime you can bring somebody of her caliber a play off the bench, along with Shara and some of these other ones, instead of dropping off a little bit, sometimes you get a little bit stronger. So that look has been good for us. She takes charges. She does a little bit of everything. The biggest thing for her is conditioning, and that's going to be a work in progress, unfortunately, as we move through Panhandle play. But hopefully she can continue to give us, if it's double figures in scoring or double figures in rebounding. It's definitely nice to have that spark plug coming in off the bench and coming in now after being eligible.
And Farsi, your point guard, doing a great job running the point, scored 10 points.
Yeah, she's had a good holiday season, and it kind of looked like the the player that we had at the region tournament last year that was the MVP of the region tournament. She seems to be getting back into that mode, and we're going to need that as we continue to play in Panhandle for her to be a big threat off the top, with the on-ball screen for her. She's got great handles, and she's starting to score. She actually hit a three, I think a bank three against Shelton, and so if we can get some more long-range shooting from her or pull-up shooting instead of getting to the goal every time, that's really going to be hard to stop.
So, and then, we had played the night before, then we played Shelton, and then we play another game the next day. Played Eastern Florida State, 182-79, tied at halftime. Second quarter, we outscored them 26-20.
Yeah.
Third quarter, they come back and outscored us 25-19. And then in the fourth quarter, we outscored them 20-17. So a real tight, scrappy, ranked 5th in the state coaches poll, ranked 25th in the national poll.
Yeah, and that's probably, I think they're better than that, but they've had a couple of losses. They lost their best player to an ACL tear. We all kind of know that thing, lose some, gain some, lose some more. So we understand that piece. So they're trying to kind of feel their way of her being missing, and boy, they played well that night. They were 50% from threes. They hit 15 threes, and we didn't defend as well as we needed to. But again, they just have nice threats. You can't double team anybody because they can shoot the three. They can take you off the dribble. They've got the mid-range shooter. They got a great point guard. So their team, I think people need to pay attention to them because I think they could make a run, and they're going to do well in their conference. And I kind of think they're probably going to be at the state tournament.
So, and it's one of the, and I said something to their coach after they played here the other day. It's the only coach I ever seen that got ice put on their knees after the game.
I know.
Because she was up and down the sideline and had been nursing a knee injury, but it was interesting to see ice on the head coach's knee.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, but if we look at that scoring, Smith with 22 that night, kind of what we expecting from her game in, game out.
Yeah, kind of her normal self,
So,
right.
And then if we look at Jones, another double-double, 14
Right.
points, 12 rebounds.
Right.
That's another good night for her.
Absolutely. That was a great game. People had to play extended minutes. We were tired. Again, not to play for 22 days. And then, we had that run in November where we didn't play for 17 days. It's unheard of to go 39 days in November and December without a game. And, it is what it is with scheduling. We have to fight that. So conditioning was a big factor. Naomi had to play extended
39
minutes, and so did Alana through too many minutes that than what you would want. But we're finding ways to win. We really didn't play well in those two games. We didn't play as well as we're capable of. But Florida Southwestern in the fall, we just kind of, these young ladies find a way to win, and that's a big part of it is just refuse to lose, and when you're not playing well, find a way to scrap it out and get the win.
So Bondu with a double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds, and she's playing heavy minutes for you also.
She's playing a lot of heavy minutes, way more than last year, and making key plays, hitting big shots. She hit a bank shot, I think, in that game, and a big three, and she had gone. She would struggle a little bit from long-range shooting, but hit a big three during that 3-game stretch over the holidays to help us win the game. So people are making big plays at big times, and so we're fortunate that we're 14-0 at this point. But that was a great run for us to get ready for Panhandle play.
So Greg second game, 16 points for the night.
Yeah, she, like we say, I don't know that she's got to get in shape. She's got to get in better condition. She got to get in the flow of the offense and get more comfortable. But when you look at the points she gave us and taking the charges that she took in that classic, I don't know if we win without her. So thank goodness she was there for us. Well,
we also in this game I highlighted Savannah. She had 9 points, 3 threes, 100%, shot everything went in. And in a game that was won by 3 points, those were big baskets.
They were huge because it was in the first half, and we were struggling. We couldn't get anything going. And and better that yet is she didn't hit a 3 the game before. She was like 0 for 6 the game before. So thank goodness, I told her, you better be glad I'm not big on stats because your percentage isn't very good. I'm not sure we would go to you, but she hit 3 big threes in that game, and like you say, I don't know that we would have won. People, and it's different people making different plays. So I think that if we can ever get all 5 or 6 that we count on to do some scoring for us, or even 7, oh boy, it's going to be a fun game to watch. We just haven't gotten that yet, and And if we ever get that perfect game, boy, it's going to be lights out.
So, and if we look at this game quickly, we'll look at struggle from the free throw line, played 3 nights in a row, off that extended period of time, 53% from the free throw line, and that shows.
Yeah, that's just horrendous. I think the only thing that was worse than that is watching our men shoot free throws against Northwest. They actually they topped us on how bad free throws can be.
33%.
So 53 is just, it's unforgivable. It's unacceptable. And then if you look at the next night that we shot free throws, it was pretty darn good.
But in this case, 48% from the floor,
right?
Pretty good, and 30%, not bad from the threes.
Not bad. It's got to be better, but free throws, that's just horrendous. And again, that we're not going to win in Panhandle, and because Northwest women didn't shoot free throws very well. So we'll talk about that game next. But free throws are big.
So in this case, and then Saturday we opened Panhandle conference play. This year I was more excited about getting there because the men's team's new and they're exciting to watch, and ladies team's there, and it's just fun to watch. And so we went to Northwest, a great place to play a basketball game, the arena over there. Lady Commodores won 78-66, but it was a lot closer game than the final score.
Yeah, it was a 2-point game at halftime. I told somebody that first quarter of play, you usually kind of expect sloppy play because we've talked about Panhandle Conference so much that the kids are tired of hearing about it, and usually it's a little bit sloppy, turnovers, and can't score, can't hit a shot. And man, that was a great quarter of basketball. That first quarter was 25-20. I don't know that there was 2 or 3 missed shots between the two teams together, and so it was a great quarter, but it was close. And in the halftime it was, I think, 39-37 us, so it was just a tremendous basketball game, honestly. And of course I think it was real tremendous when we come out with the win. But we played well, we shot well. We had to defend a really, really good post game. They have size on us, and I think we out-rebounded them. So that was a great defensive effort in the post for our players.
So like you said, their post play, they got good, solid post players. They're strong and play with their back to the rim.
Yep.
I mean, they can just do it all. But we got to talk about us a little bit here. Smith, 29 points, 10 rebounds, double-double, played 39 minutes.
Yeah, and when you walk away, I didn't even, like I say, it's just such a silent thing with her that she's just so talented and can do anything. I wouldn't have guessed 29. I mean, she's probably capable of putting up a 40 on given nights, and may have to for us to win some nights. But she's fun to watch, and when she gets going, there's just nothing that she can't do. So, and for the fact that she gave us that double-figure rebounds, I'm not sure she's done that much this season. So, if she can continue to do that, and like the game where she had 7 steals, I think we see a lot, and she's one of the best players in the country, if not the best. But I still think there's a lot of potential for her. I don't think we've seen the best of her yet.
So, and then Farsi, you point guard, with 17 points. Critical splitting that defense, getting to the rim. Got banged up a little bit, had to sit for a little bit.
Had to sit for a minute, regain her, just composure there of getting knocked to the floor. But she had a perfect game. She didn't miss a shot. She didn't miss any free throws. So it was a perfect game. Like we've said before, she's got great handle. She's hard to stop. She's strong. She can get to the rack. She can hit that layup. And now we're just trying to add a little bit more of pulling up when she needs to and hitting the bank shot or shooting the 3. And she's done a little bit of all that now. So if she continues to get better, our team's going to get better.
So, and then Bondu with 17 points for you, played 35 minutes.
Yeah, we were trying to rest her and Alana, but it was just one of those things where the subs that came in just weren't on their, on their game as well as they're capable of. So, again, we're getting 2 or 3 players in a game, but we're not getting all 5 or 6. And I think when we get all 5 or 6 on the same night, going at the same time, it's going to be really fun to watch.
It's going to be fun to watch. 89% from the free throw line, 42 from the 3-point line, and 51% from the floor. Great night of shooting with freestanding goals. So, absolutely. Coach, we run out of time, but we'll be here Wednesday against Pensacola State. Pensacola didn't play, so they're 0-0 right now in the Panhandle Conference.
Yep.
Briefly, what do we expect?
Well, their guard plays very, very good. They shoot the long ball well. They're athletic. They're going to guard. They're going to pressure. They're going to play you full court, so they're going to try to make you get force some turnovers. So I hope we're going to have to handle the ball real well, and our point guards especially are going to have to play well. And we just have to play our normal game. If we can play our normal game, we're going to compete with everybody.
So that's Coach Roonie Scovel. I'll be back in a few minutes. Commodore Fans with Coach Phil Gaffney and talk about how the men are doing on the Commodore Sports Network.
Programming on 90.7 WKGC and the Commodore Sports Network is sponsored by SWEETBAY. SWEETBAY is a bayfront village in Panama City that features parks, walking trails to the water, a future town center, and more. A community connected at the water's edge, SWEETBAY. More information about SWEETBAY online at sweetbayfl.com or 844-35-SWEET.
Welcome back, Commodore fans. Coach Phil Gaffney. I'll talk about how the Commodores are doing. Pretty exciting time this week. Panel conference play opened Saturday. You had a big tournament here we played in. We'll talk about Commodores 13-3 overall. Probably the most important thing I'll say all day today, Coach, is 1-0 in the panel conference. Ranked number 5 in the state coaches poll. Receiving votes in the last poll that was put in December. Had some quality wins since then, so hopefully this afternoon that will change. So let's dive right into it. Coach, you hosted a tournament here over the holidays, and on the 30th played East Georgia State, won 124-59. It was kind of a one-sided game from the beginning.
Yeah, it's so crazy because we played so wonderful to start the year. We were number 1 in the state, number 6 in the country, which are all great benchmarks for us. You know, we went home for Thanksgiving. We took 4 days off. We're beat up a little bit. We thought that would help us out, and really we came back and didn't play well and shot free throws very poorly and lost a few games all in the last minute. And then we took the Christmas break, and we came back, and we had really 4 or 5 great practices. And then all of a sudden, you saw East Georgia game. I think we were up maybe 65-70 at one point. Unbelievable. One of our best games of the year. So, you know, it was kind of sad. We didn't want to go home at Thanksgiving. We did, and we were playing so good. And then Christmas came. We were kind of glad we went home. And now, coming out of Christmas, 2 great games against Monroe and East Georgia. But the East Georgia was phenomenal, played with great energy. We had great legs. All our injured players were back except for Deion Butler. And just great energy. And because of that great energy, I think our defense really got us going. We were relaxed, refreshed, recharged. And you saw what we can do when we're playing really well.
So scored 124 points. 59-28 first half, 65-31. And somewhere in the second half pulled all your coastal chaos off on the defensive side of the ball because it was so one-sided. And if we go down scoring, Godwin with 25 points led all scoring for the Commodores that night.
Yeah, 7 of 9 from the 3. That's unbelievable shooting. That's what we need. We need to shoot the ball well. And you're right. We were up huge. It could have been a lot worse. And you know, we went zone and stopped pressing the last 10 minutes of the game because, you know, you're up 50, 60 points. You know, you want to be a gentleman. You don't want to do that because, you know, you could be in that position the next game. So we did, but it's a really good opportunity to us to work on our zone defense and get better at that, which we may need someday. But yeah, great shooting game and great job overall.
So, and had 3 guys doubles. Gordon 10 points, 10 rebounds.
Awesome. Off the bench to get that production is phenomenal.
So and then Holden actually a double, 16 points, 13 rebounds. Down for him a little bit in scoring, but still a great night.
Great night. And in those kind of games, especially when you have to play 2 games in a row, and Coach Jackson did a good job he does a lot of the subbing for us and did a great job of making it very even. I think everybody played between 18 and 22 minutes. So, because the next day you don't know how much people are going to have to play, and we're going to have to get used to playing back-to-back in state play and get back in state tournament and back-to-back in the national tournament if we're lucky enough to go. So these games are great because they get you prepared for that, and then you learn how to sub, and that's what we did. So Camp probably didn't play as many minutes as normal.
21 minutes. So Owens followed with 14 points, 45 starters, all scoring double figures that night.
That was excellent.
And then if we go look at the bench, we got Harden with a double, 15 points, 12 rebounds.
And he's normally a starter, and Coswell had played better than him, and so we brought him off the bench, and boy did he respond with a double-double.
So, and sometimes that's a great motivator.
Yes.
Cook 14 points, Mayo 13 points, and Marcette 11 points, totaling 120.
Unbelievable off the bench, and those guys got more playing time than normal because of the situation with the game.
So look at 75% from the free throw line. Boy, I don't know when that would have been nice to have seen. But,
yes, and all our losses, and that's been a focus of our practices is to get better at free throw shooting.
37% from three-point line, 52% from the floor. Good night.
Much better. We out-rebounded them by 30. In the half-court D, and the free throw shooting, and the rebounding are our focus for this year.
And then we played Monroe College, won 111-67, another blowout game. 52 points first half, and then 59 points in the second half. Held them to 34 and 33. So not only did you shoot well, but you played great defense.
Unbelievable. Best game of the year to date, even though we had beaten Indian Hills, who's ranked 3, and Daytona 15th, and Georgia Highlands 25th. This is unbelievable because Monroe doesn't lose like this. They're a Hutch team every single year. They beat Pensacola just right before that, lost a good game to Tallahassee, and they beat Northwest by 2, and they had a shot the buzzer to beat them. So to come out and beat them by 44, unbelievable effort. Our guys played tremendous. Couldn't even be worse if we shot the free throws a little bit better and shot the 3 a little bit better. But what a great basketball game. Great energy, great hustle, great effort. Like I said, best game we've played to date.
So Holden led all scoring, 33 points, 15 rebounds in 30 minutes of play.
He's on a roll right now. Teams are having trouble stopping him. He's inside, outside, and you put a big on him and he goes outside. You put a guard on him and he goes inside.
So if we go down and score, Owens was 15 points. Another good night for Owens.
He's been playing great. He's been playing tremendous.
Mayo with 10 and Howard with 12 points.
Yeah, Howard's another one of those guys comes off the bench. He's a big-time scorer. Did a great job. Mayo's a steady guy. Great, and it's one of those games, again, everybody got to play a lot of minutes. And we called off the Dogs with about 10 minutes to go. We were up, I think, about 40, and then just worked on our zone defense the last 10 minutes of the game.
Now, I got to talk about Pierre Louis. 16 points. He was perfect from every position. From the free throw line, from the three-point line, and from the floor. That's a pretty good statistic.
He's a great shooter. Mama came up the day before to see him play. He was awful. Came from all the way from South Florida. And he said, Coach, that won't happen. He's been fighting an injury too. And then he with his knees, and then he came back the next night and was just outstanding in front of Mom. So I said, that's good. She can come to the games from now on.
Yep. So, well, that's a good thing. Free throw shooting down 55%. Three-point line 64%. So
that was great. And I apologize. That was the game KK was 7-9. He carried us in that game for sure.
So and then 72% from the floor. So a great night of shooting against a very good team. And then Saturday, we opened Panhandle Conference play. And Commodore fans, Coach Gaffney made sure that if you bought a ticket, you got your money's worth. Played into double overtime, won 85-82. At the end of the first half, it was 38-37. And then the second quarter, we outscored them 33-32. And then in the first overtime, it was 7-7. And then in the second overtime, we won 8-5 in there. But one of the things we'll start out is that free throw shooting was our Achilles heel that night. And normally in a close game like this, whoever shoots best in the free throw line wins. So the Commodores broke what is a normal.
Yeah, unfortunately, you look at the other stuff, we did such a good job with the press and our defense and getting in transition and turning them over almost 30 times. Yeah. And Northwest doesn't lose at home. They haven't lost at home this year. They lost, I think, last year to Chipola at home, January or February. So it's been almost a year since they've lost at home. They're pretty good there, and it's a very difficult place to play. Great crowd. Boy, do they bring it with the lights and then the music and the energy and the pep band from the high school and the dance team. And they run a great first class. Ramsey Ross runs the first class program over there. But our guys gutted it out. We played so well in all the other areas. Just going to have to learn to shoot the free throws better, because if we had shot free throws, that game would have been well in hand in regulation, and we would have never had to go.
Overtime. And in there, and we started out Panhandle Conference play opening night. We struggled from the tip and got behind, but those guys just kept scrapping and fighting, never gave up. They just kept digging and playing, and even when Northwest would make a run, we would come back and make a run, turn them over 29 times that night.
And you're exactly right. I'm glad you pointed that out. Down 10 early with that crowd, with that energy, it's really easy to quit and get buried. No, we fought back. We talked about they were going to make a run, and it shows a lot about the heart of our kids.
So it played well. Now, no secret, Cam Holden led all scoring. 41 points, 17 rebounds in 38 minutes of play.
He was the big dog. They couldn't stop him again. They put a small guy on him, would throw him inside. They put a big on him. They had the big 6'11" kid on him, and just take him off the dribble and be patient and get the ball to him this side, get the ball to him that side. Eventually the defense is going to break down and we'll get a good shot. And he's a very willing passer, so he will get into the paint. He'll get people layups. He'll get people threes. He just had a great night, and lucky that we shot well enough at the free throw line and rebounded enough that we could get it done in overtime.
And he's a player that didn't get intimidated because that was a tremendous dunk over the top of him. But yet, right after that, he went to the other end and he scored.
That's right. That's what you love to see. That they had a monster dunk on our guys. And our guys didn't quit. We sped the ball in and went down and scored the other end.
So scored at the other end. And the only other player you had in double figures is Cook off the bench with 10.
He's been, like I said, he's been playing great. So we love how well he's done. Northwest is a great half-court man-to-man defensive team. And their coach does a great job of doing that, coach up here. So we knew they were going to guard in the half court and that we were going to have to turn them over and get them some easy baskets in transition.
So, and they did not want to play. They wanted to play a half court game. So you never let them really get comfortable at any point in that game because you were just not going to allow that to happen.
Tale of two teams. One team wants to play full court. One team wants to play half court. And somebody's will's got to prevail.
So in that case, we did that. 12 of 29 from the free throw line we talked about, ended up at 41.4%, but it was way one-sided, more so than that early. Hit some free throws in overtime to close that up some.
Awful three-point shooting, awful.
22.7%.
You kind of see in that Monroe game and the East Georgia game, when we shoot the ball, we're going to win and win probably pretty big. When we don't shoot the ball, it's going to be a dogfight. We're going to be lucky to scrape out a victory.
When folks ask me about your coach, I say, well, you're going to see a different style of ball because this stuff, coastal chaos. He's going to play from tip to the final buzzer, from baseline to baseline. And if he doesn't score 100 points a night, he's disappointed. But he scored 85 and got a Panhandle Conference win, so had to be not a disappointment Saturday night.
We're tied for first place in the Panhandle, and so we're kind of excited. Got Pensacola home game coming up, and then we play we have a non-conference game on that Saturday. So we're just happy to be tied for first place in the Panhandle.
So right now we will play it in the Billy Harrison Fieldhouse Wednesday against Pensacola State, 11-6 overall. They didn't play Saturday night, so this will be their Panhandle Conference opener. And everybody understands you have to defend home and get some on the road. So what do you expect with Pensacola coming in here opening up?
Well, and you're exactly right. The theory is you win all your home games, you win half the road, you win the conference. And I think this year that might do. I think 8-4, 9-3 will probably win it. Where in the past we've had a lot of 10-2s and 12-0s with Coach DeMayo was here. So 11-1s. You expect a well-coached team. They're going to play solid half-court man, and they're going to play really, really good half-court zone defense. So we have to be prepared for their zone, be prepared for their man, and they're just a well-coached team. So you better have all the fundamentals down and be prepared for their personnel. So we're working on that right now, and hopefully the next 2 days we can get our guys ready and get a victory and go into the bye week. Even though we play Saturday, it's a bye week for us from the conference, and 2-0, and then you feel real good that, hey, you'll still be in first place.
And so if we quickly look, Tallahassee defeated Chipola at their place Saturday night.
Close game right down to the wire. I think it was a 1-point game, so that was a good game.
So that's where it is. So for Coach Phil Gaffney, I'm James BAXLEY. Thanks for watching, Commodore fans, and we'll see you next time on the Commodore Sports Network.
This has been Coach's Corner with your host, James BAXLEY.